Hello, my name is Dale Dufay, and I'm going to do the commentary on this video for Mary Hall. She had one of her subscribers, send her a picture, and we'll title this in honor of her, Bonnie's UFO sighting in Utah. Mary's very grateful you sent this to her because it's really interesting. We'll go right into this a short video that Mary put together with the two photos she got. Here we'll go right through it, normal speed. But here's something. Well, let me go back because we'll start going over. Let me hit pause so we can stop it, and we'll look at the basically a still shot of the original photo. This is original too, the colors and everything. But she felt compelled to pull over on her way home. Again, this is in Utah, and notice the beautiful sunset because there's the sun as it's setting, and clouds and whatnot, and beautiful coloring here, which is interesting where this light source is coming from, but obviously the sun. But the thing is, she felt compelled to pull over and take this picture of the sunset, which is beautiful, of course. But then after looking through the photo after she took it, she noticed the structure here. There's obviously a structure here. Now you got to keep in mind these things are difficult to see with the naked eye, but the camera can pick up things that we cannot see, because a lot of the cameras have slight infrared capabilities built into them automatically. So they pick up things we don't see, and and obviously picked up this structure here. This is obviously a craft. My guess is it's a circular one, and we're seeing like a dish, and we're seeing the edge of it. Because in the next photo she takes shortly afterwards, when the sun is about in this position in the horizon as it's setting, again, not knowing that this object is here because you can't see it with the naked eye, but not knowing that, and took another picture, and we can show that one here. Here to zoom in on it. Here it is. Here's the sun. You could actually see it around it, but see this rectangular feature that's just totally lit up. Now that doesn't seem quite natural if the sun is behind it, which it is. How the front would light up so much and reflect that much. And here you can see the sun's light over the cloud bank. So again, this wasn't discovered till after she looked at the pictures, after she took them. And that's a common thing. So let's go through and check out the other formats here as Mary put this together. Here's the original video, original pictures that she put together in the video. And Bonnie put the circles around and highlighted this because she sent it to Michael Bradbury, Mr. MBB333. But so hopefully he'll highlight this as well, because this is remarkable. I mean, look at that thing. I mean, so here it is in black and white. I mean, there's total definition of structure here. And this one too, again, shortly after that initial one. And here it is in black and white again. It's just very apparent. Here it is zoomed in a bit. Mary put this together. Did a real nice job. It's possible it's triangular too as well, because you could see like an edge up here in this format. This one you really do the darko setting on the. Again, she puts this through a video shop and puts these settings on it. Look at that. That's really incredible. Here it is in this intense view, it's called. And again, thanks to Bonnie A for the use of her pictures. These are really good pictures. Again, I can, so hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. But I want to, if you don't mind, like to share my own personal experience with the, UFO. I got to actually witness one very close. And it was, this actually kind of reminds me of it, but the one I saw was a saucer shape, and it was huge. And I can show you exactly on Google Earth and the relative size of it compared to the highway. But it was in Denver, Colorado in 1979, on a Sunday morning. It was actually quite early, but the sun was up, and and the traffic was really light, but I was going down, Interstate 25, which is a highway that runs north and south right through Denver. And I was heading south out of Denver, and then when I, let's get to Google Earth, and I'll show you, exactly where it is. Sorry about that. All right, here we are in Colorado. Here's the Valley Highway, this one that goes all the way to Colorado Springs. But here we are in Denver. Now this is like a I-70, a major highway that goes east and west, and here's the Valley Highway, they call it, Interstate 25. And I was coming south off of Interstate 70, and came upon, in fact, it's real easy to find, because as soon as I find Coors Field, that's where it happened. So obviously it was north of I-70. So I think it was coming from up here, obviously, and coming down I-25 southbound, and right about at this point, and again, the traffic was super light, because it was early Sunday morning, and I happened to have my girlfriend and her brother with me at the time, and we were coming down like this, and all of a sudden we noticed people were pulling over up about here on the highway. The few people that there were, but some were pulling over, so that caught my attention. And then all of a sudden, right above this bridge here, there was a UFO, literally just above the bridge, not even 50 feet or so. It might have been, might have been 20 feet. I don't know. It was remarkable. But these people were pulling over to look at it, and I actually pulled over myself. And I actually got out, and by the time I did, it took off. But just to give you an idea how big this thing was, I was able to compare it to this stadium. This is a huge stadium. This is where the Broncos used to play, or they still do apparently. But this side of the stadium is impressive because they actually able to lift it up hydraulically with water, which is amazing. It's well designed, but they're able to spread it and move it back to accommodate more fans. But the thing, this is a huge stadium. But this UFO that many of us witnessed was at least that big. It went over all, if you could see here, I believe it was at least 3 lanes each side in this 1979 with the shoulders and everything. But it was, bigger than, it was as large as this entire junction here. And then here's Walnut Street, and then one of these streets, I actually, went down to try to chase the UFO when it took off, but it darted across the city and disappeared from incredible speed so fast. But it was literally the size of the stadium. It was incredible. So it was that day that I became a true believer in UFOs, because I got to witness one. Now, at the time, I thought it came from another planet, and I did for decades. And what's really interesting, too, is after it happened, none of us, my girlfriend or her brother or myself talked about it. It was very strange. It was very difficult to get your head wrapped around it. And then it wasn't till I was excited about it and couldn't wait to tell some people I know, couldn't wait to tell them. And you could tell right away when you started talking about it, you could sense that they were thinking you were crazy. So you learned right away to shut up about it, including family members. So it was real strange. It didn't talk about it for, many, many years, decades. And then recently I started talking about it, and I don't mind talking about it because it's quite obviously that they're there. But getting back to the point I was about being from another planet, I was always very happy about maybe, the picture was taken and recorded from these aliens, and being taken to another planet. But I've since realized that it was perhaps made by us humans on Earth, or technology that we already have. In fact, it was real odd because I couldn't help but notice the craft. It was mostly silver, metallic silver, but there was like a light aqua blue paint on it, and it looked all beat up and everything. It was one thing that struck me as very strange. I was thinking, wow, they paint their crafts or their stuff too, but again, since then, I've come to realize that, for a lot of reasons, I'm not going to get into, take too many hours, but since then I've come to realize that the real ones are from another dimension, and many of them are reverse engineered, made by technology, by human beings today, as they were in the past. So I don't think they're. I think they're more dimensional thing than an actual planetary thing, because there's a lot of reasons why. Like again, I could say, but I just thought I would share that with you, and why I can talk about Bonnie's picture, with confidence and with bias, because I've actually witnessed it. I mean, I know people in the UFO community that have never seen a UFO, and but that still doesn't take away from their belief, because let's face it, many of us have never seen Paris, but it's there, So it's starting to really come out that UFOs are a real thing, and I was privileged to see one. It took up this entire junction here. It was that large. It was the most incredible thing, and unfortunately, I only was able to see it. I had enough time to see it really close. It didn't have any windows or anything like that, so I couldn't see any silhouettes or anything. But if there were, I would have. That's how close it was. But I was privileged enough to be able to see it shortly, but it took off right away. It shot right across the city. If you see the mouse here, the UFO was here, and it went that fast, gone. And foolishly, I tried to get on this ramp and on this road and try to follow it, but it was hopeless, because again, there's no way to prove it. Nobody had cameras back then, driving around cameras, but many people did witness it. I wasn't the only one, and ironically too, many years later, the girlfriend I was with, I wound up marrying her. She was my first wife. She passed away recently from cancer, but I was able to visit with her and my brother-in-law, who witnessed it at the time, and I asked them if they recalled it, and they didn't at all. They totally blocked it out of their mind. But we did all see it, and they were there, but it was ironic how they went to the extent of completely blocking it from their mind, because initially we all did. Like I said, we just didn't talk about it. It was weird. So anyway, thanks for letting me indulge myself with my experience with the UFO, and that's why you can say with confidence that this stuff's going on. That's obviously a UFO there, and it's proof positive, a great capture. I'm sure Michael's gonna wind up doing it too. I wouldn't be surprised. That here's one in Utah, not very far from the location where the one I saw back in the 70s. But you could see the mountain range in the back and the sunset. I used to see some great sunsets in Colorado when I was living there. Look at that, just remarkable. So, well, thank you for watching. And we'll go, well, I was going to say Google Trot, but that's not a Google Trotting video. I'm going to do one next for Mary. She found some incredible stuff in Antarctica. You wouldn't believe it. It's like, oh my God, because the ice is melting down there like crazy. And what she discovered on Google Earth, you can see the melting ice all over the place. It's pooling up like little ponds and lakes. But what it's revealing, you wait till you see. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll talk at you later.